Today's managers have access to amazing array of resources which they can use to improve their skills. But what about those managers who were leading the way 100 years ago? Managers in early 1900s have very few external resources to draw upon to guide and develop their management practice. But thanks to early theorists like Henry Fayol, managers began to develop tools they needed to lead and manage more effectively. Fayol, like any other him, are responsible for building the foundations of modern day management theory. Henry Fayol, also known as father of modern management theory, gave new perception of the concept of management. He introduced a general theory that can be applied to all levels of management and every department. The Fayol theory practiced by managers to organize and to regulate the internal activities of an organization. He concentrated on accomplishing managerial efficiency. Henry Fayol was born in Istanbul in 1814. He was 19 when he began working as an engineer at a large mining company in France. He eventually became the director at the time when the mining company employed more than 1,000 people. Through the years, Fayol began to develop what he considered to be the 14 most important principles of management. Essentially, these explains how managers should organize and interact with the staff. In 1916, 2 years before he stepped down as director, he published his 14 principles of management in the book Administration Industrie di Generale. Fayol also created a list of 6 primary functions of management, which we have already studied, which go hand in hand with the principles. 14 principles, one of the earliest theories of management to be created, remains one of the most comprehensive till date. He is considered to be among the most influential contributors to the modern concept of management, even though people don't refer to the 14 principles often as they today. But still, to begin with, 14 principles of management are good background to start understanding the principles of management. This theory falls under administrative management school of thought as opposed to scientific management school, which is led by Frederick Taylor. Division of work. When employees are specialized, output can increase because they become increasingly skilled and efficient. Henry believed that segregating work in the workplace amongst the workers will enhance the quality of the product. Similarly, he also concluded that division of work improves the productivity, efficiency, accuracy, and speed of the workers. This principle is appropriate for both the managerial as well as technical work level. In practice, employees are also specialized in different areas and have different skills. Different levels of expertise can be distinguished within knowledge areas. In our case, from generalists to specialists. Personal and professional development support this. According to Henry Fayol, specialization promotes efficiency of the workforce and increasing productivity. In addition, specialization of the workforce increases their accuracy and speed. This principle of division of labor is applicable to both technical and managerial activities, and it is applicable to all the levels of management. Authority and responsibility. Managers must have authority to give orders, but they must also keep in mind that with authority comes responsibility. These are two key aspects of management. Authority facilitates the management to work efficiently, and responsibility makes them responsible for work done under their guidance or leadership. In order to get things done in an organization, management has authority to give orders to employees. Of course, with this authority comes responsibility. Henry Fayol says the accompanying power or authority gives the management the right to give orders to subordinates. The responsibility can be tracked back to performance, and it is therefore necessary to make arrangements about this. In other words, authority and responsibility go together and they are the two sides of the same coin. Discipline. Discipline must be withheld in organizations, but methods for doing so can vary. Without discipline, nothing can be accomplished. It is a core value for any project or any management. Good performance and sensible interrelation makes the management job easy and comprehensive. Employees' good behavior also help them smoothly build and progress their professional careers. This third principle of 14 principles of management is about obedience. It is often a part of the core values of a mission statement and vision in the form of good conduct and respectful interactions. This management principle is essential and is seen as the oil to make the engine of an organization run smoothly. Unity of command. Employees should also have one direct supervisor. This means an employee should have only one boss and follow his command. If an employee has to follow more than one boss, there begins the conflict of interest and creates confusion. The management principles unity of command means that an individual employee should receive orders from one manager and that employee is answerable to that manager only. If tasks and related responsibilities are given to employee by more than one manager, this may lead to confusion, which may lead to possible conflicts for employees. And by using this principle, the responsibility for mistakes can be established very easily. Unity of direction. Teams with same objective should be working under the direction of one manager using one plan. This will ensure that it is properly coordinated. Whoever is engaged in the same activity should focus on a unified goal. This means that the person working in a company should have one goal and motive which will make the work more easier and achieve the goal easily. This management principle of 14 management principles is all about focus and unity. All employees deliver the same activities that can be linked to the same objective. All activities must be carried out by one group that forms a team. These activities must be described in a plan of action. The manager is ultimately responsible for this plan and he monitors the progress of the defined and planned activities. Focus areas are efforts made by the employees and coordination. Subordination of individual to general interest. The interest of one employee should not be allowed to become more important than those of the group. This thing include managers also. This indicates a company should be united towards the interest of the company rather than personal interests. Be subordinate to the purposes of an organization. This refers to the whole chain of command in the company. There are always all kind of interest in an organization. In order to have organization function well, Henry Fayol indicated that personal interests are subordinate to the interest of the organization. One of the ethics. The primary focus of organizational objectives and not on those of the individual. This applies to all levels of the entire organization, including the managers also. Remuneration. Employee satisfaction depends upon fair remuneration of everyone. This includes financial and non-financial compensation. This plays an important role in motivating the workers of a company. Remuneration can be monetary or non-monetary. However, it should be according to individual efforts they make. Motivation and productivity are close to one another as far as the smooth running of an organization is concerned. This management principles argues that remuneration should be sufficient to keep employees motivated and productive, be it monetary or be it non-monetary. Non-monetary can include a complement, more responsibilities and credit, and monetary might include more compensation, bonus, and another financial compensation. Ultimately, it is about rewarding the efforts that the individual had made. Centralization. This principles refers how close employees are to the decision making process. It is important to aim for an appropriate balance. In any company, the management or authority responsible for decision making should make the process neutral. However, this depends upon the size of an organization. Henry Fayol stressed on the point that there should be a balance between the hierarchy and division of power. Management and authority for decision making process must be properly balanced in an organization. This depends upon the volume and size, as I said, and its hierarchy also. Centralization implies the concentration of decision making authority at the top management level or at the board executive level. Sharing of authorities for decision-making process with lower levels, middle and lower management is referred to as decentralization by Henry Fayol. Henry Fayol indicated that in an organization should strive for good balance of centralization and decentralization. Scalar chain. Employees should always be aware where they stand in the organization hierarchy or chain of command. Fayol on this principle highlights that hierarchy steps should be from the top to the lowest. This is necessary so that every employee knows their immediate senior. Also, they should be able to contact them if required. Hierarchy represents itself in an organization. This varies from senior management to lower levels of management. This principle also demarcates a clear line in the area of authority. This can be seen as a type of management structure, a bureaucratic structure. Each employee can contact a manager or a superior in case of emergency, and when it concerns reports about calamities to the immediate managers, it is the responsibility of the superior to take care of their immediate juniors. Order. The workplace facilities must be clean, tidy, and safe for employees. Everything should have its place and everything should be in place. A company should maintain a well-defined work order to have a favorable culture. The positive atmosphere in the workplace will boost positive productivity. According to this principle of management, employees in an organization must have a right resources at their disposal so that they can function properly in an organization. In addition to social order, responsibility of the managers, the work environment must be safe, clean, and tidy. Equity. Managers must be fair to staff at all times, both maintaining discipline as necessary and acting with kindness wherever appropriate. All employees should be treated equally and respectfully. It is the responsibility of managers that no employee face discrimination. Employee must be in the right place in the right organization to do the right things. Managers also supervise and monitor this process, and they should treat employees fairly and impartially. Stability of tenure of personnel. Managers should strive to minimize employee turnover. Personnel planning should be a priority. An employee should deliver the best if they feel secure in their job. It is the duty of the management to offer job security to their employees. Management strives to minimize employee turnover and to have right staff at the right place. Focus on such as frequent change of position, frequent transfers, limits sufficient development and should be managed well. Initiative. Employees should be given the necessary freedom to create and carry out plans. The management should also support and encourage the employees to take initiatives in an organization. This will help them to increase their interest and make them worth. Henry Fayol argued that with this management principle should be allowed to express new ideas. This encourages interest and involvement and creates added value for the company. Employee initiatives are a source of strength for the organization, according to Henry Fayol. Esprit de corps. Organizations should strive to promote team spirit and unity. It is the responsibility of the management to motivate their employees and be supportive each day regularly. Developing trust and mutual understanding will lead to positive outcomes and work environment. The management principle, Esprit de corps, strives for involvement and unity of the employees. Managers are responsible for development of morale in the workplace, individually and in areas of communication. Esprit de corps contributes to the development of culture and creates an atmosphere of mutual trust and understanding.